As we've reported several times on this channel, the Dallas Mavericks still have one roster spot remaining that they could use to go out, find another player, and round out the roster heading into the upcoming season. And over the last few weeks, we've looked at a few players that the Mavericks have been looking at, and it seems like they're trying to go in the direction of finding another guard, another backup ball handler, just in case if Luka or Kyrie have to miss some time due to injury or anything else. But what does that mean for Markieff Morris, someone who still isn't re-signed to the Dallas Mavericks heading into next season? So in this video, we're going to take a look at Markieff Morris. We're going to look at an article that kind of breaks down the whole situation and whether or not we could bring Markieff back and sign someone, or if we have to say goodbye to Markieff Morris. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, only 9.4% of you guys watching have that bell turned on. I know you're probably sick and tired of me saying it, but it's the off season. It ain't my off season, and I aim to bring you guys as much Mavericks content as frequently as possible. And if you don't want to miss out on a single thing that we do, make sure you ring that bell, and I'd appreciate it greatly. But, like I said in the intro, Markieff Morris still isn't re-signed with the Dallas Mavericks. He is still technically a free agent. And over a few weeks ago, there were a little bit of rumblings that Markieff, as well as his brother Marcus, would both sign with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, although there has been no movement on that part, Markieff still isn't re-signed, and we don't have Marcus Morris on the roster. We still have that one spot, and although the Mavericks have been working out with Malachi Flynn, they've been talking about Dennis Smith Jr., or even Spencer Dinwiddie, that spot remains, and we have no idea which direction the front office wants to go. But Markieff Morris definitely has value on this Dallas Mavericks team. Although he doesn't really see the floor much, even in garbage time, sometimes he's not out there. A lot of players, including Luka and Kyrie themselves, have credited Markieff Morris as being the voice in the locker room, the glue guy, the person that everyone looks up to whenever things look bad, to be the voice of the reason, almost like a coach in the locker room. Even though Markieff Morris' stats will never wow you over last season or maybe even this upcoming season, his value to this team is immeasurable, as everyone does value him as a veteran. But if we just take a look here, that Dallas Mavericks forced into tough position with the final roster spot. Like I said, Markieff isn't re-signed with the team, and they're looking for a guard. So how do they go about it? Well, the article continues saying that the Mavericks may hurt some feelings with decision on final roster spot. Markieff Morris is confident that he'll be re-signing with the Mavs this summer, and there have been reports that the Mavs want to keep him as well. The article continues saying that this puts the Mavs in a tough spot, as they now have to decide who they want to sign with this last spot. Do they prioritize bringing back Morris, signing a backup guard, or thinking about giving it to Ajinça? The Mavs have several options when it comes to who they give this spot to, but regardless, it won't be easy. If they re-sign Morris, that leaves them without a third established creator. If they sign a backup point guard, they'd be without one of the biggest leaders on the team last year in Morris. Dallas could decide to waive AJ Lawson if they want to re-sign Morris and sign a backup guard due to his contract being non-guaranteed. But then Dallas would pretty much be giving up on his development and losing his team-friendly contract. So right there, I mean, that's a whole lot to unpack. So let's take a look at it. Obviously, like I said before, Markieff Morris is a respected player in the locker room. No matter if he doesn't score for a whole month or if he does go in garbage time, the players in the locker room do look up to him and they do respect him and they value him as a leader in the locker room. But with AJ Lawson's contract not being guaranteed, do we waive AJ Lawson? Do we just let him go and we bring back Markieff and maybe Marcus or maybe Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Smith Jr.? The front office has a tough decision to make, and I feel like no matter which direction we go, someone won't be happy. Whether we get rid of AJ Lawson, a lot of people that were very high on the young man's development may not be happy that we're just giving up on him. If we don't bring back Markieff Morris, people are going to be upset that the guy that everyone loves, the guy that Kyrie respects tremendously, is now gone. And then if we just get Marcus and Markieff, no matter what you do, someone won't be happy. But at the end of the day, it's what's best for the team. And let's just pull that article back up. Dallas could waive AJ Lawson. Again, that's something that not a lot of people want to see happen. But on the other side of the coin, there are some people that feel like you could get rid of AJ Lawson, you waive him, you bring back Markieff Morris, and then maybe you sign Spencer Dinwiddie. That way you have a leader in Markieff Morris, and you have a third ball handler in Spencer Dinwiddie. But then a lot of people would argue, well, what about Jaden Hardy? What about his development? If we bring on Spencer Dinwiddie, will that affect Jaden Hardy's minutes? And if it does affect Jaden Hardy's minutes, how will he grow? How could he potentially be that third ball handler? And then what happens with Dante Exum? Do we still utilize Dante Exum? There's a lot of questions, and filling that last roster spot may seem easier said than done, where when you bring in somebody to fill out the team, that 15th man, whether they're on the bench just there in a case of emergency or you actually use them, that's going to affect somebody's minutes. And I feel like if you go with Markieff, that's kind of the safe route, right? Because Markieff doesn't really need minutes. He's just important in the locker room. However, we do have Dwight Powell, who's also in that same vein, a locker room guy, a very nice guy. I mean, I'm not sure how true these reports were, but I did hear that we weren't even fielding calls for Dwight Powell. Obviously, he's still here because he's a nice guy. He's a locker room guy. People do appreciate Dwight Powell in the same vein as Markieff Morris. So do we need two guys to just be the vibe check on the team, or do we need just one of them? You keep AJ Lawson, you keep Markieff, and you keep it moving, or do you think that we do need a ball handler? It's a tough decision. I mean, Nico Harrison, I'm sure, will make the right decision. I'm sure that's why a decision hasn't been made yet. I'm sure the front office is just doing their due diligence, working out with Malachi Flynn, like we reported last week, looking at Dennis Smith Jr., looking at Spencer Dinwiddie, and just doing the move that benefits everybody, that helps this team win a championship, either bringing back Markieff for the locker room or bringing someone like Spencer Dinwiddie or Dennis Smith Jr. to be a backup ball handler. But the article does continue, saying the Mavs have plenty of decisions to make. And if someone like Ajinça has a great summer league, then maybe he could force Nico Harrison's hand into giving him a roster spot. With summer league still going on, the Mavs are likely waiting to see how everything pans out before making a decision on what they want to do with this final roster spot. Regardless of who they sign, the Mavs have the chance to get better with this move. For all the latest of the Mavericks offseason long, stay tuned. Yeah, of course, stay tuned to me, guys, if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related. But yes, there have been rumors and rumblings that with Melvin Ajinça, depending on how well he does in the Summer League, and so far, our Summer League team has not been playing that well. I'm not sure if any of those guys are really guaranteed a spot. I mean, of course, Omax is, even though Omax hasn't really been playing that well. I'm a little bit disappointed. But Melvin's looked pretty solid. So is Brandon Williams. So is a few of those young guys. AJ Lawson has also looked good. And I think that's going to be one of the toughest decisions to make. In the case of Melvin, you could just send him back to France. No matter how good he looks, I think the right decision is let him go back to France for a year. Next year, let's see what a roster looks like, who's still here, who's gone. Bring back Melvin. I think you also need to sign Markieff Morris strictly for the fact that he is a leader in the locker room. He's a coach's voice in the locker room, and the players look up to him. Just like how Luka and Kyrie do respect Jason Kidd, that's why he's still here. The fact that they look up in respect to Markieff Morris, I think, should also be the reason why Markieff stays. If you have to use that last roster spot on Markieff, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think you can still rely on Dante Exum or Jaden Hardy to be your backup ball handler. I don't think they're bad options at all, especially in the case of Jaden Hardy, who needs that development, who showed great signs last year in the playoffs and the regular season that with the opportunity, he can make things happen. He can be a good player. He can be a great player for us, but he needs the time. He needs the opportunity. And with the way the roster currently is, I don't really see him getting any more minutes this year than he did last year with Najee Marshall, with Quentin Grimes now on the team. Although they will be taking the spot of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green off the bench. You got to think about Omax. They said Omax may get some rotation minutes. You may see some AJ Lawson. It's a little bit of a kerfuffle right now, as that last roster spot can be kind of more important than you think it is. Last year, we used that last roster spot on Derrick Jones Jr., and it paid off dividends because he was phenomenal for us, right? But this year, with that last roster spot, it could be the difference between losing a vocal voice in the locker room versus getting a backup guard that you need, or losing a young talent that you don't want to give up on just yet. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Do you think that we should just sign Markieff, be on our way, and we're good? Or do you think maybe we need to drop AJ Lawson, get Markieff, and get another ball handler? What would you do if you were Nico Harrison? But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing another giveaway. The winner will be announced the first week of August. But till then, y'all take care and drink water. Peace.